Thiccasaurs podcast.
Hi, welcome back to the Thiccasaurs podcast. This is your host, Anna, and
Michelle.
Melissa.
Molly. I didn't know who you were pointing to because my squares are different.
this is like the Brady Bunch. Okay. And then today we have a very special guest, somebody that's very close to us, our family member who is a talented, go-getter, model, performer, a mother, fur mother, and this is Ryuji. Yay, everybody clap!
Ooh,
Don't want to
oh,
be too
wait.
loud.
How do
Thank you
you?
for welcoming me onto your show.
Yes, we love you.
Of
So great to
course.
have you here.
There we go. Oh my god, that took so long.
We're too old for this. We can't figure it out.
I'm like, I can't find it.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on our show, Ryuji. We are so happy to have you join us. This is our first Zoom episode, so thank you for your patience. So this episode, we're just gonna want to the reason why we have our lovely Ryuji here with us today is because this episode will star in June, and we know that June is Pride Month. Yay! The she's, theys, the gays. Woo! And so Ryuji, wanted to include him here on this episode to just talk a little bit what it is like being Hmong in the queer community. And so there's so many ways that crosses over and like what challenges. So just a brief summary, if you could just explain about who you are and like about yourself, like whatever you're comfortable with.
Okay. So my name is Ryuji. I am Hmong, and 20 years old. I am living in Minnesota. That's why we're doing over Zoom. And I am queer. So my pronouns are actually he and she. And so I like to, celebrate myself. I know that I'm Hmong and I know that I'm queer. So I like to put myself into positions where I can feel connected both of who I am. So yeah.
Thank you so much for telling us a little bit about yourself. And honestly, thank you so much for like talking about what your pronouns are, because I never like what would be a good way, because a lot of people I've don't know about the other girls, but I have a lot of queer friends and they all give me different responses. Like how should we even approach like asking about the pronouns? And then so I've had friends where they say like just ask us, or some friends say like I just call me by my name because I have a name, so you can just call me. So thank you so much for sharing that. I honestly, to be transparent here, I was like, I don't know what pronoun you go by, so I usually just go Ryuji, Ryu. So
Well, thank you for that consideration. But I think the best way to approach it is if you introduce yourself in your own pronouns to an individual, and they will follow with their pronouns as well. So it's kind of like opening the door for them to feel comfortable knowing that they can feel safe and present them who they are truly to you, without having to feel like, oh, are they gonna, do I need to have to feel the need to be like scared? Does this person feel comfortable around me? Um, am I able to even be myself around this person? Those are some thoughts that people do have sometimes when they are queer and they are in a place where is unfamiliar to them. And if the person there that wants to feel comfortable, you want to go to them and introduce yourself like you would always introduce yourself to a new person in an environment. So that's the best way to go about it, I would say. But I can't speak for everyone. So
and everybody, I'm pretty sure, has their own journey of going through that. And I guess it just clicked to me because I'm like, oh, duh, that's why professionals would put their pronouns in their email signatures, like, she, they, or whichever. So, excuse me. So, thank you so much for explaining that. And I know I'm gonna
yeah.
ask you because I I don't know how you would want to approach this, but like I said, we're kind of like introducing you in the beginning. So I wanted to ask you, like what, if you're comfortable with it, do you know like what part of your life or when did you knew that you were queer? The typical questions. And don't worry, I'll
Yeah.
get to the really fun ones later because these are the very surface
The introduction
questions.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Getting to the surface level, just dipping your toe in the pool, you know?
yes, yes. So, oh yeah.
Question.
Hand
Sorry.
raise.
Hand raised. I have a question for you, Ryu, because
Mhm.
the whole thing is still kind of brand new to me.
Uh-huh.
And so is
Same,
there a
same, same.
difference? Yeah. And so I'm not trying to be arrogant. It's not
No,
arrogant,
no.
ignorant. I guess I'm ignorant. Is that the word?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I don't know. Okay. So when you said he, she, that's your pronouns, is there a reason why there's two, and is there a reason why he's first and she's second? Does that make sense?
So I do understand.
Okay.
But so when I say he or she, obviously when you first look at me, people are going to
Mhm.
assume that I'm a he. But
Mhm.
as you get to know me and my demeanor,
Mhm.
I can identify with being she because you can see them very feminine. And when it comes to femininity,
Oh,
there's that she factor into it. Um,
gotcha.
And when it comes to people in public, I am a very androgynous person in public.
Mhm.
So people don't know what to assume, either if I'm a he or she. They
Mhm.
can obviously tell I'm a he because of my height.
Mhm.
But let's say if I were sometimes at work, I do have people that call me she just because of the way I present as myself to them when I say hello as they walk into the door.
Mhm.
Like I'm like, hi there, like, with such like a high voice
Mhm.
and feminine demeanor. Um, so it's kind of based on how people see me. I
Mhm.
don't really have a preference on how what people call me. So
Mhm.
it's just about whether or not people feel comfortable of just saying who I am. And I know it's not, I don't want people to have that fact of like, oh, he doesn't care. Obviously, I do care.
Mhm.
But it's just the fact that I want to present myself and make people comfortable with what they want to call me.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then I didn't include the they because I don't identify as non-binary.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
That makes sense. Okay. Thank you for educating
Yeah.
me. Because I'm like, what does that mean? Was that
But
different? Because I've never
mhm.
heard he, she. I've always heard like something else. So that's why I'm like, oh, I didn't know you can be both like that.
both.
Yeah. So that's why I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's different.
There is never any like laws or like I guess you could say restrictions on
Mm,
gender. Um, but there are some people out there who do identify as like full he,
mm,
just depending on who they are. And then there are people out there with even more than two. There could be even three or four,
mm,
or even more than that. It's just really depending on the individual and you getting to know them.
gotcha.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you're
Yes, I
welcome.
should have remembered to pause because I'm just so familiar I'm a little bit more familiar with the queer community than they are, so I should have
Hmm.
probably
Yes,
paused. But
yes.
Yeah.
Us three are very,
We
very
versions.
new. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. We virgins to
We
the community.
versions to it.
You know, like we
Hmm.
love you guys. You know, we love you guys.
Yes.
We support you
Hmm.
guys and stuff. But like a lot of the information we don't know because personally, for me, I don't have any queer friends.
Hmm.
Um, just because I'm not very sociable. I don't go out much.
Hmm.
I would love some queer friends. But yeah, I
Well, you
don't
got
have any
me,
queer
girl.
friends. And yeah, you. Yes. But you family, girl. You family. You know. But like outside from you, I don't have any. I don't know about my sisters, but I don't have any, so I don't have anyone
Mm,
to
okay.
ask questions to, like how Melissa
Yeah.
just asked you a question.
Hmm.
So it's great that we have you to help
Yeah.
guide us through this. What do you call it? Foreign, but not so foreign subject to us.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
sorry.
I
Go
was
ahead,
gonna say,
Ray.
I'm always open to
Hmm.
advocating and speaking for the queer community. So
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I think like with me, Michelle, at least for me, my queer friends are like older, like they're like
hmm.
in their 40s and stuff like that. And so I think we just kind of have like a mutual understanding that like, oh, you're queer. That's cool. I'm not. That's cool. We can be friends. That's cool. So
Hmm.
like we don't really get to talk about the nitty-gritty of it. And I think like with me with my mindset, it's very um like I think I'm still stuck on the mindset of there's gay and then there's a lesbian, but there's no like all the other letters, I'm like, what is that? I don't know what those letters are.
Okay.
You know, does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, that does
Mhm.
make sense.
Yeah, and so I
So,
think it's just I
uh-huh.
just need to broaden my view. I'm
Yeah.
very old school thinking, I guess you can say, when it comes to the queer community, because I'm like, huh, I
Right.
didn't know that. I did not know that. So, yeah.
Because I can see how you do see that because back in like the 2000s, it was a
Mm-hmm.
topic that was very foreign and taboo,
Yeah.
kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Whereas like today, with newer generations, we're more open to talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is the queer community is called the LGBTQ plus community.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say the LGBTQIA plus,
Mm-hmm.
just to instill
Yeah.
more inclusiveness into the
Mm-hmm.
phrase.
Yeah.
Um, so what that means basically is not just lesbian or gay, but it's
Mm-hmm.
lesbian, bisexual, gay. Sorry, it's
You're talking about the letters?
yeah, the
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 letters.
letters, the
letters, yeah.
acronyms,
Yeah.
yeah.
Lesbian,
So
gay,
lesbian, gay,
trans,
trans,
intersex, right? Or
wait, lesbian,
I
gay,
think
no,
it's
lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, intersex, asexual. And then plus means like other categories such as like
Oh.
demisexual or
Mm.
androsexual or
Yeah.
yeah,
sorry, I was
just
gonna chime in.
Sapiosexuals.
Some people also say that in the plus is an ally too.
that too.
Oh,
That's what
okay,
the A
yeah.
can stand for as well as the Q, which also can stand for questioning.
Oh,
Okay.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. So
Mm, okay.
it's a very inclusive community. I've noticed where it's like we're trying to allow people to come in and feel represented because representation always matters when it comes to, confidence and feeling like you
Mm-hmm.
belong in a community, which gives great like encouragement to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But
thank
yeah.
you
Yeah.
so much for explaining that.
Yeah, you're
We should probably
welcome.
pause here. Do any of you girls have any questions about the acronym LGBTQIA plus? Any questions?
Um, I guess the letter I, you said intersex.
Hmm.
What exactly is that?
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
an
I've seen
intersex,
the letter
yeah.
in there, but yeah, I don't
Hmm.
know what it is.
So an
Mm-hmm.
intersex individual is a person who is born male and female, and they grow up
Oh,
with male and female,
oh,
um,
biological
yeah,
parts.
biological parts.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So we don't use the term hermaphrodite anymore. There was
Mm,
that term, and it
yeah.
is now a term we
Oh.
don't refer to them because it just makes them feel less human, and it makes
Yeah,
them feel
definitely.
like they're just like a monster, which we don't want them to
Mm,
feel like that at all. No one ever
yeah.
wants to feel like a monster. So we have the term intersex to explain who they are as an individual. Um,
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, there
That
are
makes
some people out
sense.
there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always known the other word, which is hermaphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Um, so, but yeah, that makes sense though. That it makes perfect sense
Yes.
because I agree with you. It makes them sound like a science experiment type of thing instead of
Right.
actually human. So,
Right.
yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you
Yeah.
for explaining that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
um, any more questions about that you girls have?
I don't think so. I mean, I've read up upon like the demisexual thing, sapiosexuals, and stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess I never really considered that kind of to be part of that LGBTQ plus thing.
Hmm.
I thought it
Mm-hmm.
was just I don't want to say kink because it's not a kink, but kind of like
No, but just like
uh
it's like I can see what you're saying, where you can see
yeah
that it's just like their own, I guess you could say they're open to other things or like not
yeah
open to other things, like kind of like restrictions. And I can see how you can come out to as kinks where people do have restrictions on kinks and
yeah
fetishes and whatnot. But it's more about who they're attracted to rather than what they want to do.
like sexuality,
Yes.
more like in a way. Okay.
Yes. Like, for example, where there's pansexual,
Mhm.
that means that they're more inclusive when it comes to their attractiveness on who the people actually are, instead of they don't really care about genders per
Gender.
se. So
Okay.
they're open to being with any individual that they're attracted to.
And this one
Mhm.
Okay.
is pansexual, right?
Yes. Now
Yeah.
that's a bit different than bisexual, I would say, because bisexual is both woman and man, but pansexual is more inclusive because there are people out there who identify more than just being a man or a woman,
A woman.
or
Yeah.
non-binary at all, or all. So
Yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
You guys, I think we
Okay.
should like one day do safety zone training. That's the training I got years ago, and they kind of go over a little bit about this. I don't know if Ryuji, if you're familiar with what safety zone training is.
I'm not familiar with it now. I've never heard that term before.
So it's basically the mental health. Gosh, they have so many resources. It's one of the trainings that you learn how, if you are an ally or if you're a member of the community, how to assist someone that is coming out, or like if you just want to be supportive, what
Oh.
to do. So maybe we can look into like community resources here where we live to see if they offer safety zone training, so that way we can, be more informed. So I think that'd be
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I can possibly see as a positive where it comes to people coming out. Because coming out is never an easy experience. Um, it's it can be scary, very scary, because you don't know how people will react. Um,
Hmm.
like, especially when I was younger, I always knew that I wasn't attracted to female.
Hmm.
So it wasn't, and I know that when it comes to being in the Hmong community, especially, as a male, you want to always be attracted to females because it's taboo, if you're not attracted to females and you're
Hmm.
seen as like someone else, like you're not, there's like a sense of like where you don't belong, where you're just seen as
Yeah.
like, like a black sheep of the family or a black sheep of the community, and
You're
you're
outcasted.
outcasted,
Yeah.
you're shunned. Um, and so growing up, I always had to lie, that I was attracted to women, because I just felt like if I did, then people would see me as just like, your typical man who could, do the manly things as well. But growing up, it just felt like I was lying to myself. Um, and it didn't feel right, either, because I knew that I was queer, but I just didn't want to tell anyone because I was afraid of either being hated on. Um, I was afraid of being sent to what's it called? Conversion therapy. Um,
Oh yeah.
conversion
Oh, they
therapy.
Hmm.
still do that?
They still do that.
Yeah,
Can
girl.
you
They
Oh
explain
my
to our
God.
audience what conversion therapy is?
So conversion therapy is when, especially when it comes to young teenagers, young adults, and sometimes pubescent children, um, is that like, it's a place or a church. They're mostly churches. Sometimes they're
Hmm.
camps,
Yeah.
where parents send their children to get converted to being straight, or in their minds, normal. Um, so I don't want to go into too much detail because I never experienced conversion therapy by myself, but I do hear that the children that do come out of it, they are more traumatized than
Oh yeah.
than they were before. Um, because I know that it's it's a painful, I would say mental torture, to be honest. Because it's denying who they are as a person. Um,
Hmm.
and it's enforcing that idea onto them that they can be normal, which creates more self-hate and depression. I actually did a study about this in college, um, and I did a um, essay on LGBTQIA, um, suicide and drug use and homelessness.
Hmm.
So, and one of the main factors of depression was that people, especially their parents and family, don't accept them as who they are. Um, So it's a very struggling path for them, and it's never easy, like
Isn't
I
it
said.
also like connected to where that's why a lot of youth are afraid to come out because one, they're gonna lose like a place to stay. Like they get
Hmm.
some of the majority of them, I believe, get
They do
kicked
get
out.
kicked out. Hmm.
Mhm.
A lot of them do get kicked out, yes, just because they tell their parents of who they are, and it's very. I'm not sure if I've heard any like Hmong kids getting kicked out, but I've heard of them getting like, beaten or like abused. Hmm.
Mhm.
Well, they actually that population does experience more violence, and intimate partner violence too, don't they?
Hmm. Yes, especially. Yeah. Hmm. It's abuse is normal in the Hmong community,
It
especially when it
is.
comes to elders. So, yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that.
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, uh, what did for your journey, like did you find that because I heard that the coming out process is like ongoing, it never stops
It
because
it never does. So once you find who you are and identify with what you are, you have to constantly come out to people. And I know that personally for me, it kind of sucks, but it doesn't really because there's always pros and cons to everything. Because there's a con where I feel like I shouldn't have to like explain myself really, but I also have to be open-minded that people don't know um, these terms or they don't know who or what, the functions are. And so I remember when I came out and identified as being queer to my friends, they were like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yes." Um, and it just after that, then you have to come out to like family, and then you have to come out to people at your work environment, and you have to come out to people you see on the street sometimes, and it's a constant, it's a constant kind of like I would say roller coaster because you don't know whether or not and a person could react bad or a person could
Yeah.
react good. And so
Mhm.
that's the scary
Mhm.
part.
we love you, Ryuji.
Oh, I love you
Mhm.
too.
Yes, we
Yeah, we
do.
love you so
You,
much.
you are always, always safe with us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So,
thank
Mhm.
you.
We ready to fight. Me and Anna's ready to fight. Michelle's ready to fight. She's ready to pounce.
I'll
Molly
be
too.
ready, but then I'll be like, when you need me, I'll be there.
Molly's the no, stop, no.
But no, 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 I
Behind
push.
stuff.
Like that, not even letting you know.
Yeah, so it's that's the thing. It's a very scary journey, and you do have to deal with it the rest of your life. But with the generation that's coming out, we have a generation where they're more accepting as we get older,
Mhm.
mhm.
versus like back in like 2015 or 2000, I should say 2007, like
Mhm.
um think about like almost 20 years later, people are coming out more and people are transitioning more and more often than back then. And it's a topic out there that's more recognized.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
Thank you,
So yeah,
Ryuji.
you're welcome.
So I do want to also like I get it like this is like usually the intro, but I also want people to see that there's more to your like your queer friends or family than other than just like the coming out process because we thank you for educating us, but then also it is up to the ally or the family member that supports them to educate themselves too.
Right.
So,
Hmm.
but to switch gears because like I love for you to educate us on this, but then also our audience, you guys are responsible to
Mhm.
educate yourself too and to
Hmm.
ask questions. So I wanted to flip gears and say, um, if we can just go and switch topics just a little bit and
Yeah.
have Ryuji just see if there was any, do you have any experiences or opportunities that you believe that helped you from the Hmong community or that you wish there were something to help you?
Personally, I wish there was, a place where I could go to maybe like online or even in person to, help educate what it actually means to be queer. Because I had to learn how to do how to do things differently, how to be who I am via internet. And there was no personal connection towards another individual who's like me in the Hmong community to help me learn who I am. And so what I wish that there was is like maybe like an online forum or like a group where I could, connect with people, Hmong people who are queer as well, because not a lot of people who are Hmong come together, I've noticed. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of like for example, this person I know is gay or this person I know is trans, like in the family, and they don't like talk about it. They don't come together.
Mm-hmm.
They
Mm-hmm.
don't like it's more like, oh, that person is like kind of like I want to say not an outcast, but that's all that they see to them is their sexuality or their identity. There's no, oh, this is Ping or like this is like Miley or something like that. Like it's just all about, oh, this person's gay. Like
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's
But
no
that's like it's like that's all they become. It's just like,
right.
oh, they're just gay. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, and that's how they're flagged for. And it's just like I know who I am and I know my label, but it's like I don't need you to introduce me to other people or have you see me all as my sexuality. And that's what I felt like growing up too. It's just like I wanted to have people who I know are also queer, but also during my time as growing up, not a lot of people were accepting. So it was hard to find other queer people too who were Hmong because they were also scared like me. Um,
Mhm.
and so just was like a constant battle between myself and society at that point. But going back to that topic of there are resources I wish out there, I also wish that there was a resource for kind of like I would say um maybe, you see those events at like the Hmong New Year's or like you see like at those tournaments or whatnot, that there are like people out there who like giving out word to certain topics. Like for example, there are people out there who do topics of like religion or like do
Mhm.
topics about like careers or do topics about like mental health. Um, and so I was thinking like maybe growing up, there should have been like maybe like a table that had like pamphlets about like being queer, and Hmong, like
Mm-hmm.
there's that intersectionality of it. And those resources would have been more helpful because um, there would have been at least people who I felt could represent me, and I don't have to feel alone and scared. Um,
Mhm.
so that's another thing. And actually, I created a Facebook group too. It just never grew.
Mhm.
Oh,
I
you have a
did.
Facebook group?
I do. It's a queer Facebook group. I think it's called, let me look it up. Um,
I'm just gonna tell you right now, I'm sending people there.
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
I
let us
say,
know.
so I made this group back in 2022. It's just not a lot of people were in it, but it's called Janang Hmong LGBT. So
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I can send it to you guys after our
Yes.
session together.
yeah.
But so I made that because I felt like I wanted to bring in a community of Hmong and queer people. Because I know that it's a very scary journey alone, and I don't want anyone to feel like how I felt. Um, and so I just want to bring out this resource to help people, rant about their, experiences or like have problems that they need to solve. And it could just be a regular forum too for people who are just having questions about themselves. And we can
Mhm.
help answer those questions as well as individuals instead of going to the internet and being like, oh, am I this? Am I that? Because there are people out there who like literally take quizzes on who they should be, and I don't think that's right.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Mm.
Yeah, like I remember people growing up, there were people growing up myself, I always took like a quiz like, am I gay or not? But because there's no one I could go to.
Yeah.
And so I created this forum to help this medium to help people reach out to me and other people as well. I can't speak for all identities, but I want to build a community of Hmong and queerness because there are Hmong group chat or groups on Facebook, but you never see them talk about queerness. You mostly see them talk about more like domestic abuse or like you see them more talk about like I don't know what's another like losing a child or losing a child like contact wise. Or like you see them having family feuds. It's more about family things rather than like individual things, which I think I know that having a forum is great for every person. I just wish that there was more representation for people like me. That's why I created that medium there for LGBTQ Hmong people to reach out. And then I don't want to say like, oh, I'm a professional at being queer. I'm not. No one is. It's a journey for everyone. I'm still learning more about myself every day.
Same.
So it's just something that I want to, bring people together. And it's never wrong to bring people together. So
No. I mean, it's great because you pretty much you're creating a safe space for other Hmong people who are queer, but like you said, but have no one to go to. So I think it's great that you created this page, and even if it even if it didn't gain traction or whatever, but when you give us the information about it later, we will help you help it gain more traction because we need something like that.
Because there's even an anonymous feature on there for people who don't even want to be seen. Like how you see in I don't know if there's one for Oklahoma, but there's one for Minnesota. There's people who post anonymous posts on there to help with their situations as well. And people comment on there to help give like advice or to just state what they want to say on their mind about the situation. And I think that's very important too, just to have other insight of how other people could react to it as well. Other options and suggestions that they should do as the person who's having trouble. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I just knew you are the diamond of the season. Jeez. I'm gonna share. I just want to let you know that once this episode goes out, I will be telling everybody and their mom about this, and you just let us know if you need more Hmong people that identify as queer that need help with like monitoring the group, because I'm gonna tell you right now it's gonna blow up. So
Well, thank you. And I don't want to share it as like, oh, I need more people to come in. It's more about I'm sharing this because I want to help people as a queer person myself. I'm not doing this for vanity. I'm doing it more for safety and a well-being and belonging. So
I think it's great. And then like who knows? I'm not trying to tell you how to run it, but I'm just saying like maybe you can even have in there in this state, these are your community resources
that would
too.
be very helpful too. Yeah. Because I want to make a safe space for anyone anywhere. And I think gathering those resources could be very helpful depending on each state as well. So thank you for that idea.
And then I will do the research and I can send it to you. But I do know a couple of friends and family members that identify with the queer community, and maybe I can send them your way if they choose to come and check out that forum.
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Well, I think that this was probably we're gonna wrap it up here. But I wanted to thank you so much, Ryuji, for like even being comfortable with coming on here, because this episode is going to go on the internet. It's going to be forever. And if there are other people out there that want to hear more from Ryuji about like anything, or if they want to reach out, are you okay with them like talking to you? Like if they want to be like,
Oh
I have a
yeah.
question.
I can definitely send you like my socials. I can even give you like my Snapchat, my Instagram, my Facebook. Just because I know that I don't want anyone to feel alone. Like, and I want to have people feel like they can belong, like they can get help. Because, being in a world where you're alone sucks. And I hate that feeling myself. And so I just don't want people feeling that. Yeah.
You're such a big-hearted, kind person. So to wrap up this episode, I wanted to ask if you can share two things, um, advice that you would give to, and it can be advice on anything, advice
Mhm.
that you would give to yourself, um, if like from now to your past self, and
Mhm.
advice that you would, and then also the second thing would be like what you learned and what should I say? Yeah, advice you would give yourself. My gosh, can't talk. Okay, advice you would give to yourself to younger Ryuji, and then advice that you would give to other people. So those two things.
Okay, so I feel like if I was talking to I would say, let's think, if I was talking to like my 11-year-old self, I would say, you know, don't let anyone tell you how to think. You are your own person, you're still growing. You don't need to care about how people think because at the end of the day, family, they will accept you. It does take time. Sometimes it doesn't sometimes your family doesn't accept you, but that's just so you know that they're not true family. Um, you want to feel accepted. I know you do, but also give it time too when it comes to family, because you know yourself and you know your family. They are very accepting. So yeah, don't be afraid. If I was talking to I would say 11-year-old self, 13-year-old self, I would say that. Yeah. But when it comes to other people, I would say just don't be afraid to reach out for help, I would say. Because when you reach out for help, you do feel a bond with the person you are getting advice from. You do feel more confident and more encouraged to be yourself when it comes to getting help from other people. And I'm saying this not just for queer Hmong people, but for anyone really. Just because you don't have to feel alone in this world. And for a world that's very populated and no one's very populated, you can feel lonely. Um, there's there's people out there that can relate to you. And I'm here. So
Mm.
Yeah.
Thank you,
yeah.
Ryuji. That was beautiful. I need to get that carved in some type of like sculpture somewhere. That was beautiful.
Yeah, with
Thank
tons of my filler words.
It's okay. Thank you so much again for agreeing to be on this episode, taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us on the Thiccasaurs podcast. I just want
Yes,
to
of
tell
course.
everybody out there that we love you, we care about you, and that I also want to say Happy Pride Month.
Happy
Happy
Pride
Pride
Month.
Month! And I gotta take these girls to drag brunch. They have drag
Oh
brunch
Yes.
my
here.
God, let's
I gotta
go.
take
I'm
them.
so
They
down.
are missing out. Well, you guys, it's so fun. But thank you again. Happy Pride Month, and
Yeah.
we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys have more questions, please reach out to us on Instagram, or on YouTube. Doesn't matter. Facebook. Our DMs
Mhm.
are open. So,
Mhm.
all right. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye,
Bye. We love
guys.
you.
Bye.